Hello once again. Hello, hello. It's Tony and Brian. I think, after you get this many emails from us, we should be on a first name basis. So it's Tony and Brian from the Stars of Tomorrow project. We are really, really excited to give you a little bit of an update on where we are and what's been going on. We have some really terrific stuff to tell you. Um, we finished our spring semester, getting ready for our summer semester. We have an international trip to tell you about, and how well the wellness component of the program is now starting to take hold. Well, and with no further ado, when it comes to telling you about what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian Hills.
Ah, thank you so much, Tony. Greetings to everyone. It's great to be in front of you again. Just to give you an update on what's happening with the Stars of Tomorrow project. We had a dance, movement, ensemble, acting, vocal lessons, our Cops and
Brian,
Kids.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but that ensemble thing goes by real quick, but it's a really important part of the program. We actually do an ensemble building class so that the kids understand that they are part of something bigger than themselves. And this is such an important thing going forward as they grow older, as you all well know. I'm sorry. I
No,
just want
it's
to stress that. I just
definitely, and that's why that class is the first ones that our students encounter, because we want to set them up to understand that the principles that they're getting in that ensemble class is what they're going to be working with their entire time while they're with the Stars of Tomorrow project, because we
and
want
with
to
their entire life, basically.
exactly.
Remember the slogan, when you teach a kid how to act, you teach
You
a kid
teach
how
a
to
kid
act.
how to act. And so we're trying to teach them how to act like ensemble members, not just in the class, but in their lives, with their families, with their friends, with their fellow citizens here in this country and abroad.
It's
Um,
it's one of the things that I worry about, because I think a lot of the entertainment, whether it be the music or the stuff the kids watch, it's very much wrapped in social justice and female empowerment and all sorts of other things, but it really, really centers on the self. And so they don't get that idea of being part of something bigger than themselves. And it makes it very hard to resolve conflicts. And we'll talk about that later on, about conflict resolution, because there's some tough news from the city here this year, this last few weeks. But let's talk about the good news, Brian.
well, even with conflict resolution, that is a huge part of our movement class. The way that we engage with the students with the viewpoints work helps them to see conflict in another way, rather than something that could be coming to an end uh, with the loss of life or something of that in that vein, but to see it as an opportunity to have a to create something, to create something new, to create something better, and to create a new relationship with people. But we also went on some wonderful trips. We went to see some Broadway shows. We went to see our musical director. One of our musical directors do a showing of her work as an opera singer. That was a wonderful situation. And then
Latoya, her name is Latoya Lewis, and I was there, and it was magnificent. You could tell why the Cops and Kids chorus sounds so good, because she is magnificent.
she is. She really is. And in addition to that, um we had to end our semester, as Tony had mentioned a bit before, we have a nutrition component where our program manager, Miss Bijou Lucello, she works with the students in identifying some things that are going on in the communities where a lot of our young people are residing, and some of the health concerns that are there. And so she focuses the class on that to show them how they can prevent these things, not just for themselves, but for their families. And a huge part about that is healthy eating. And so at the end of the semester, I think it was a week ago, we went out with Tony into what is it, Columbus Circle. Columbus
Yeah,
Circle, and we
yeah. We
had a
picked the biggest supermarket in the world to go to. It was really brilliant.
yeah, it
But
was great.
we took the kids shopping, The menu what we were shopping for was a dinner of pizza. Basically, we're going to learn how to make a marinara sauce, which would be an all-purpose marinara sauce that you could use for macaroni or I mean pasta or like any chicken parmesan, whatever. And then how to make dough, how to make the pizza dough. And everybody got a pizza stone, a slider, and a cutter. So they all had their own stones and cutter. And then after we went shopping, where did we go? What's the name of that joint? Sur la table. Sur la
Well,
table.
I definitely want to say one of the reasons that we had to pick a large grocery store is because Tony goes into a marathon when he's grocery shopping. So the students, and myself, we had a time keeping up with him because we couldn't find him from one aisle to the other because he was just zipping.
I want to show them how to effectively be able to shop and then cook for themselves. And, because what you find out when you work with kids is they don't know what they don't know. Even though we all know it, they don't know it. So you got to just show them. And I'm telling you, we got so many, people sending us pictures of their pizzas.
Oh, and I definitely sent mine. And as a matter of fact, I called it the leftover pizza.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Because I took some leftovers from the previous day, some salmon and some sauteed greens, and I sprinkled it on the pizza, and I had a full meal.
Now, wait a minute. Now, let me ask you something. And Brian, I just want to ask you, the reason you could do that is why? Because you knew how to make
because we knew how to make the dough. We knew how to make
dough.
The basis of the meal was the pizza.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe my grandmother's recipe. Anyway, what about the international trip, Brian? How about
right? That was
an
awesome experience. Last month in April, during the spring break, the school spring break, we were able to take a grouping of our young people. I think it was a grouping of 14 or 15 of us to Rome and to Athens. And we had a magnificent time discovering these two cultures, discovering the food, the music. We had a dance class when we were in Athens, Greece. It was amazing. We tasted all types of food. We visited so many different historic sites. We went to St. Peter's Basilica. We went to the Colosseum. We went to the Acropolis, just a whole host of places. And the young people had a magnificent time.
How did you pick the kids to go? As all these kids we have.
Right. The students that are eligible to go on this trip abroad are students who have been with us for at the very least a year's time. So the students will have to have done a summer semester and a fall semester and a spring semester in order to be eligible to go on this trip with us, because that gives the students enough time to get to know us, for us to get to know them as well as their family. And then also letting them take a stake in the organization, knowing that, they're not just here to be a part of it, but they're also here to build this for other young people in New York.
That's great. Okay, Brian, I just wanted to make sure we got that out. Well, I'm telling you, here comes the rough stuff. So last few weeks, luckily not this last week, but the week before and the week before that, there's been just a number of horrific youth-on-youth violence here in the city. But a 15-year-old girl stabbed to death a 17-year-old girl. We had a young boy walking in the Village in Soho, shot by a guy another kid on a bicycle. This is what we're up against. I mean, I wish I could say, this is hyperbole or, you're getting over dramatic, but this is what we're up against. It's either this, what we're doing, cooking class, or this incredible, inexorable march towards some kind of violence to solve any kind of conflict. It's very different for me, because I'm a kid from Brooklyn and we settled conflicts all the time, but we did it with our hands. Now they pick up guns. And if you talk to the kids, the thing that really, really depresses you is because they say, we said, why do you carry a gun? He said, because I'm afraid. The other guy's got one. So that's why we're here trying to do this. That's why Brian's been doing this a long time. And that's why we continue to ask for your support. So thank you for listening. We're gonna we pretty soon we'll give you another shout out, because we're gonna be relentless in this. You know, I have some kids. I taught high school in Philadelphia for a year, and I have some of the kids that were in my class are now grown, and they have kids of their own. And one particular young woman who was she was a handful as a student, but she turned out to be okay and graduated. And anyway, she has a son, and she said to me, "Gee, I have to do something with him. He's having this trouble and that trouble, and I so wish that we had a program in Philadelphia, because that's exactly what this kid needs. He needs Brian, by the way, but you know, that's my hope. My hope is that someday, you know, we can spread out and reach more and more kids, because there's not a place in this country that doesn't need it. Not a place. Anyway, thank you for listening. Brian, you want to say anything before we take our shoes for a walk?
Of course, I definitely always want to thank you for your support, and I definitely want to ask you to please keep an eye on your email, because we are going to be sending you information about our upcoming benefit
Yes.
fundraiser that is going to be happening in October, on October 24th,
Right.
right in the heart of the theater district, right in the heart of Times Square.
And folks, just so you know, Brian came up with something really great. We're using the classes, our acting classes, to produce the stuff that's going to be in the show. And so it's a great use of the time, but it's going to be, these kids will really be good at it by the time we get there. So we're excited.
And we have a great lineup for you, and we're definitely excited to show our young people our stars of tomorrow. And so many of them have said, we're stars of today and tomorrow. So our stars.
Okay, that's okay with me. All right, thank you very much, everyone. And I hope, like I said, I hope this missive finds you and your families well, and you know, keep the faith.
Right.